Hey everyone! So I recently placed a Blick art supplies order just because I was running out of a few things that I wanted to restock, and so I went ahead, placed the order, and it just arrived. So I just thought that I would do a little unboxing with you here, so let's go ahead and open this up. Alright, so the first items that I purchased were a few new brushes. These are specifically from the Princeton Velvetouch line. And I do have a couple of these. So the ones I already have is this 1-inch wash brush and then a 6 round brush here. And I figured that I would pick up just a few more just to add a little bit of variety to the brushes that I already have. I went ahead and got a number 6 filbert brush. And I don't really experiment too much with filbert brushes, but I wanted to go ahead and just pick this up to try something new. I also got a 1/2-inch oval mop brush. I thought that this would be a little bit easier to maneuver and manipulate the water as opposed to this wash brush, since it's a little bit stiffer and firmer. And the mop brush is just a little bit looser and more flexible, and so I wanted to go ahead and give this one a try. And then I also picked up a number 8 round brush, so it's just a little bit bigger than the number 6 that I already have, but I wanted to just get something a little bit bigger to experiment with. And then the last brush in my collection that I already had is also from Princeton, but it's one of these mini detail brushes, and it's a number 2 round. And so I thought that just adding a little bit more to my collection here would be very nice, particularly for watercoloring, which is essentially the reason for this haul. Let's go ahead and move on to the other items though. Those are just the 3 new brushes that I got that I wanted to add to my collection. The next item that I purchased is one of the Legion Stonehenge cold press watercolor pads, and these come with 10 sheets and they're about 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches, I believe, so just very small, fits in the palm of your hand. But I've been really enjoying using these because the pen pals that my sister and I send to each other, then we do something called an ATC, or artist trading card, where we just paint each other a new little painting to send along with each of our pen pals. And this is my old pad. I actually only have 1 sheet left, and so I thought that it would be time to pick up a new one just to continue doing the ATCs for. So I'm really excited to get a new pad and just start off with a fresh one. The next item I am very excited for, and it's a brand new watercolor sketchbook, and it's from the brand Etchr. This one is quite big for what I'm used to. It's an 8-inch by 8-inch, so it's a square format, as you can see. Here is my current watercolor sketchbook, and I'm almost done with it. I only have a few pages left, and so I thought that it would be the perfect time to just go ahead and pick up a new one so that I can just hop on into it once I'm done with this one. This is also another Etchr sketchbook, but it's the A6 size, so it is significantly smaller than the square one that I just purchased. And I figured I would just experiment with a square sketchbook just because I've never had one before, and I thought that the slightly larger size compared to this A6 would just be a nice step up from what I've been used to for the past couple of years that I've had this. So I'm really excited to be finishing this one. If you would like to see a full flip through of this sketchbook, let me know down below. I would love to do that for you if you are interested. But yeah, I'm very excited for this brand new sketchbook. Let's go ahead and open it up just so you can see exactly what it looks like. Alright, so like I mentioned, this is an 8-inch by 8-inch sketchbook, and it does come with 52 pages of cold press watercolor paper. I really appreciate just the very simple design of it. It is hardcover, but then it just has this fabric on top of it, so it is very comfortable to hold in the hand. I do really appreciate the elastic closure here, just to kind of keep your sketchbook intact, and especially when you spread it open, and with it being hardbound, sometimes then the pages will want to just lay completely open if you've manipulated the binding in that way. So having the elastic closure just helps to keep it all intact and prevent your book from just sprawling out all over the place. It also includes a little ribbon bookmark, which I really appreciate as well. It does just come with one. And then let's go ahead and just open it up. I really love the cold press watercolor paper. It is a little bit textured, which I really do love. And the pages are very thick. It also comes with a gusseted back pocket for you to put some additional like ephemera and stuff in there too if you would like. So yeah, I've been really enjoying the Etchr sketchbook that I'm almost done with, this little A6 one. It was my first time trying an Etchr sketchbook, and I loved it so much that I figured I would just get a new one of the Etchr and just experiment with a different size. So I'm really looking forward to finishing this little one up and then starting the new one. Alright, moving on to the final product. I was trying really hard to resist getting this, but I just really wanted to give it a try. I don't have that much experience with different watercolors, and because I've been really into watching like watercolor tutorials and stuff, and specifically watching like Shayda Campbell videos, then I finally decided to pick up her watercolor palette that she collaborated with Rowney. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but yeah, I am so excited to give this a try. Let's go ahead and unwrap it and everything and show you what's inside. Alright, so here is what the palette looks like. I really love how sleek and slim it is. I think that is such a practical size for a watercolor palette. I love that it comes with 24 half pans, and so you have a great variety, but because of the tin and how slim it is perfect for on the go or like portability wise, and so I'm really happy with that. And that's one of the big reasons why I wanted to get this watercolor palette, was just how many colors are included and also the packaging and how portable it is. And like I mentioned, I've never tried any of the watercolor paints from this brand before, so I definitely wanted to give it a try, and I've been really inspired by Shayda's videos lately, and so I wanted to go ahead and pick this up and just experiment with some new colors that I don't already have in my collection, and also this watercolor formulation. So yeah, that's the watercolor palette. I think what I'll do is just go ahead and quickly swatch these for you. I don't want to swatch them in my sketchbooks just because I do have a couple of ideas planned for the remainder of my little sketchbook, and I don't really want to swatch this out in the brand new sketchbook yet. So I think I'll just go ahead and swatch these quickly in like my common planner or something so that we can see what the colors look like. Also, just for convenience, I'm just going to use a little water brush to swatch out all of the paints. So here are all of the swatches of the watercolor palette. I think that they are very beautiful and extremely pigmented watercolors. There are definitely some shades in this palette that I have never tried before, and so I'm really looking forward to being able to experiment with them. I definitely noticed that there are quite a few pinks in this palette. I feel like that makes sense just because Shayda does typically paint like flowers and stuff, so I think that having a good selection of pinks would definitely help in painting like florals, but I really do love the amount of greens and browns that are included in this palette. So yeah, I'm really excited to experiment with these watercolor paints and just play around with the different combinations that I can make with these shades. I think that it is quite well-rounded. I was a little bit surprised that there is only one yellow in here. Personally, I feel like it probably would have made sense to maybe get rid of one of these pinks and swap that out for another yellow of some sort, but I think that that'll just be very interesting to see what kind of paintings I can make with this specific watercolor palette. But yeah, in terms of my first impressions on the quality of the paints, I'm pretty impressed. They do come off very pigmented and very vibrant as well. I was a little bit surprised and taken back with the ultramarine pink. I noticed that one to be like pretty gummy, if that's the correct term. Not quite as pigmented, so it is very translucent, as well as the raw sienna, but I wasn't as taken back by the raw sienna just because I feel like that's most likely the nature of this watercolor paint anyway. I do have raw sienna in another one of my palettes, and it does perform pretty similarly to this one as well. So I think that they would most likely lend more towards like building up the opacity for those, or possibly like for washes. But yeah, I'm really excited to be able to add this palette to my collection and just experiment more with it. I'm really looking forward to finishing up that Etchr sketchbook that I have and moving into the brand new one. Well, that does it for my Blick art supplies haul. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and let me know if you would like to see any more videos on any of the products from today. I would love to do that for you, or if you have any questions, just leave them down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.